Welcome to New Strength. I'm Christina Cook-Lee. New Strength is a daily devotional offering hope and encouragement to people who are trying to get and stay free from depression and or dependency. I would encourage you to read along with me. If you're viewing directly on YouTube, check the description area below the screen for instructions on how you can. Thanks for joining me. Our topic is progress. The focus, the long-term plan of God. The scripture, Exodus chapter 15, verse 13 from the New King James Version of the Bible. In your unfailing love, you will lead the people you have redeemed. In your strength, you will guide them to your holy dwelling. In order to make progress, you have to want something better. You have to be tired of where you've been, tired enough to want change. When you're tired, it's not easy to find the energy to do anything. You can keep going along in the same paths, repeating the same actions, in a dull and monotonous force of habit. If your emotions are battered, you might not have the courage to take any kind of action. Some days you might have more energy and courage than others, but in a weakened state, people often just don't try to break free. God had been in the process of freeing His chosen people from slavery for a very long time. Long ago, when Moses was a tiny baby, God arranged for him to be discovered by Pharaoh's daughter as he floated in a handmade waterproof basket in the river where the princess always went to bathe. Moses was such a cute and helpless little guy that the princess couldn't resist wanting him for her own. She arranged for him to be nursed by an Israelite woman through the offer of a young girl who happened to be nearby when the princess found him. Of course, the princess didn't know the young girl was Moses' sister, Miriam, and she had no idea that the Israelite woman the young girl recommended to care for Moses was his own mother. But why was Moses floating in a basket in the first place? What kind of mother would put her child in a river? Something as strange as that could only be done by a mother who was desperate. You see, Israelite baby boys were being murdered during the time of Moses' birth. The Egyptians thought the Israelites were multiplying too fast and wanted to control their population. So rather than have her baby killed, Moses' mother took a valiant risk. She decided to make a basket and hide the baby in the river. So it was that Moses was nursed in the arms of his very own mother. She must have cherished those precious days. As hard as it would be to have to hand her baby son over to someone else, at least she knew Moses would live. After Moses was weaned, he went to live in the palace, where he was raised as the son of the princess. He was fed, clothed, and educated on a level he could have never received in his own family. Years later, as a young adult, Moses witnessed an Israelite being beaten by an Egyptian. He went to the defense of the Israelite and ended up killing the Egyptian in the process. As a result, Moses ran for his life. For 40 years, Moses experienced a totally different existence in a place far away. One day, God spoke to him from a burning bush and asked him to return to Egypt and lead his people to freedom and a new life. When all of this happened, Moses was minding his own business and tending the sheep of his father-in-law. Moses had a few weaknesses. He definitely lacked courage, but God wanted to use him anyway. Moses had legitimate reasons to be afraid of the job God was offering him, and he said so. Moses wasn't a very good talker, and he didn't think the Pharaoh would listen to him. Moses was right. Pharaoh was very controlling and resisted all of the attempts of Moses as he asked Pharaoh to let his people go. After many different plagues and a considerable loss of life, Pharaoh finally gave in, sort of, and the Israelites were able to leave Egypt. But the story doesn't end there. Because of ingratitude and disobedience, the trip to the Promised Land was long. Most of the ones who were set free never reached their reward because they continued to grumble and make the wrong choices. Being set free was not the end of their problems. As you have been set free from your own bondage, you must realize there are ongoing responsibilities to be met by you. God will do His part, and you have to do your part too. God has called you out of a lifestyle that was apart from His will. You have to be willing to keep moving forward by making the right decisions on a daily basis. It's not a part-time job. When God called Moses, Moses was insecure. God told him that if he would cooperate, He would provide help. God also demonstrated His miracle-working power to Moses, letting him know that it was not just Moses' power that would save His people. It was His. Declaration: I will find new strength by cooperating with God and His long-term plan to help me make progress and stay free. Thanks for taking the time to listen. I would really appreciate it if you would like this segment, and if you wouldn't mind, please share it with someone else who might also benefit from it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the New Strength Devotional channel on YouTube or on WordPress, and then a link will come to you every day in your email with a segment like this. And if you're already a subscriber, I'll look forward to meeting with you again tomorrow. My prayer is that you will find new strength day by day and endless blessings. I'm Christina Cookley.